Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be covering my Rainbow Cup tournament that I did in Philadelphia. Shout out and special thanks to the following individuals, and I'm sure I'll miss out on some people, but shout out to House Stark 93 Alex for responding to my tweet last month about attending an early Rainbow Cup tournament. Thank you for Kevin down with TPP and DX1 for showing me around yesterday morning and doing some raids with me. And shout out to Mike as well, and shout out to Sparkle Tangerine and Nikos for driving to Philadelphia and driving back. I really hate highway driving for that long distance, and I know that that's their preferred way when they like to drive instead of being passengers. So thank you very much, you two, and thank you to Joey and his group for organizing such a wonderful tournament. And thank you to all my channel members and Patreons for supporting me on this journey. And special thanks to those that are on Patreon that are PvP friends or champion level supporters. That includes Robert, Kathleen, Jordan, Sean, Rosa, Angel, Jordan, and Ross. And I have 2 spots remaining on my PvP friends Patreon list. And then if you want to support me or be shout out on these channels, there's also other tiers that are available. But let's get into the tournament details. This is the team I ran. I ran a Confusion Executor as my grass Pokemon. I ran it instead of Meganium or Executor, Venusaur, because I like its matchup against poison type Pokemon, including Venusaur. I ran an Ice Beam, Play Rough, Azumarill, a Water Gun, Thunderbolt, Hydro Pump, Lantern as my electric coverage against Manton users. I ran a Quagsire with Stone Edge Earthquake because I like using it more in the close game. I ran a Charizard, and then I ran a Fortress with Rock Tomb and Heavy Slam, more for the middle part of the game and using my Quagsire as a closer. But let's dive into the battles here. There's lots of exciting matches here. First one's against Furious Joe. When I look at his lineup, I really like Fortress against his team, especially against Venusaur and Executor, so that's why I led with it. And this is an okay matchup for me. It would be better if I have Earthquake, but he switches out to Charizard, Quagsire is like an okay matchup. These Mud Shots unfortunately do almost no damage to it, and there's still like pretty high energy costs for these charge moves here. And then he hits me with another Dragon Claw, so as long as I can get to this Stone Edge here, I should be good. And yeah, so I'm in a good position here. So I burn his second shield, and then at this point there's no point in me shielding because I wouldn't be able to get to another charge move anyway. So here, going against Charizard, I am not going to shield here because I think it's a Dragon Claw. It might have been a huge mistake on my part if I screw that up. And then he comes in here, does Stone It, or he does Acid Spray. So good play by him. I'm going to hit him with a Heavy Slam here. Sometimes I don't follow my own rules, and I'm like not shielding the first charge move here when it comes from a Quagsire because you don't know what moveset it could be. And that kind of cost me a little bit, but I'm able to get off Dragon Claw right away, which feints down his Quagsire. And then here I'm like, okay, I have a little bit of an uphill battle here. And then here I try to feint him down with Blast Burn before he gets off a Frenzy Plant, but I wasn't able to do so. So at this point in time, I'm like, I need to farm some energy, so I'm going to do only a little bit. These Vinotes are not doing very much damage. Here, I know I need to get a Blast Burn to finish off his Charizard. So I get to a Blast Burn and then finish him off. So it was important for me not to do very much damage on my Blast Burn once I know that I've tapped him. So, and here I'm going to lead with Executor because I do like Executor against his Azumarill, against his Quagsire, against his Venusaur. And he leads with Quagsire, so this is a positive matchup for me. I expect him to switch out at some point. He switches out. I'm going to go to Azumarill right away. And he has some energy built up, so he should be hitting me with Blast Burn. Oh no, he hits me with Dragon Claw. It's not going to do very much damage because Azumarill does double resist. And then at this point in time, he's going to go for... he's trying to go for Blast Burn. But right before he can, I hit with Ice Beam to either bait the shield, which I did, or get the shield. And then he hits with the Blast Burn, which does a lot of damage here. And then here I have enough energy for Ice Beam. His Venusaur comes back out. And then here I'm hoping to get to another Ice Beam, and I'm not able to. If I was a little bit better at tapping, then maybe I could. And then here he hits me with the Frenzy Plant. Really nice shield bait there. And then I'm not going to shield here. I can survive this particular Acid Spray. And then I'm going to finish it off here. I probably should have charged up a little bit more. Doesn't really matter though, because I'm mostly going to fade down this Venusaur with fast moves here. But I'm not going to shield here, because I'm going to save the shield for my Charizard. And then it's going to finish it off here with a Dragon Claw. So we take round 1. Good match, GG there. So interesting lineup here. I do like my Lantern against majority of his lineup, against his Azumarill, against his Fortress, against his Raikou, maybe probably the most neutral matchup there. I like against Ninetales, not Venusaur, and then Slowbro as well. So here I lead with Lantern. Lantern's definitely going to be a big part of my team. And I like Lantern's coverage, so he switches out. I know he's going to switch out to Venusaur here, so I switch out on my side to Charizard. Here, you know, I got to realize, like, I can do a better job here. So here, I should have hit Dragon Claw. I do hit Dragon Claw. Because if I didn't, then he would have got to a Sludge Bomb. And then here, I'm not going to shield here. This Ice Beam is not going to KO my Charizard. I'm still going to be able to get to a Blast Burn here and still do a good amount of damage. So I'm in a good position here. I'm going to come back in probably with Lantern here. Going to hit the Thunderbolt. It's not going to KO Azumarill at that health range, but it'd be pretty close. And then comes out with Fortress here. I should have just switched out. I don't know why I stayed in, but it is what it is. Do a ton of damage. I switch out to Quagsire. I'm not going to shield here. He does Rock Tomb. It's not going to do a lot of damage. And then I'm going to hit this Azumarill with Earthquake. It's almost going to KO it. I probably should have did 2 Stone Edges, to be honest. But it doesn't really matter here. I'm going to be able to survive this Ice Beam just barely. And then get off a Stone Edge with basically 1 HP left. But I was fine. I would have fainted down with Confusion afterwards. So makes no difference. So GG. Round 2, match 1. And then we're going to go into the next match. I do want carry Lantern, but I'm going to lead with Fortress here. Fortress, good against Slowbro, good against Venusaur, okay against Raikou, and then okay against Azumarill, and then obviously neutral with Fortress, unless his Fortress is carrying Earthquake. Okay, so this is good. Like these Thunder Shocks are not doing a ton of damage here, but these Bug Bites are doing a ton of damage to him. And then here, I think he made a mistake. He should have went Wild Charge. I still would have definitely survived, but my health would be way lower. So here I decide to switch out, and then here he decides to do Wild Charge. I'm not sure why. Shadow Ball definitely would have did more damage. So here he switches out, really nice switch here. And then here I make a mistake here. I don't know why I didn't go for Earthquake here. Maybe I didn't think my Quagsire would survive long enough, but it doesn't matter here. So, and then here I have to worry about, I thought maybe his Slowbro had Psychic or something. So I decided to shield here. Mistake on my part. And then here I'm just trying to fade down with Water Guns. He's going to hit me with another charge move here. It's Ice Beam. So even if it was Psychic, I would have been fine too. And then his Raikou, just has just enough health left. But I know whatever comes in, Lantern is going to have a very positive matchup against. So I'm going to hit Hydro Pump here and then KO this Ninetales. So GG, well played there. And then we're going to move on to round number 3, and I'm against Bar Fight Princess. So I am worried about the Kingdra, the Scizor. This is an interesting lineup here. Start with a Azumarill. He predicts me well, correctly, so I switch out to Charizard. He has a Razor Leaf Venusaur, so at this point in time, I realized I'm in a ton of trouble. I should realize that I probably shouldn't be carrying double water, but I foolishly do. And he does Sludge Bomb. It's like such smart play by on his side. I should have realized it was Sludge Bomb again and not shielded. Alright, well he shields here. I might have been able to slide a Sludge Bomb here, but probably not. So I burned the second shield like a dummy. And then here I get greedy. Dumb play by me, and he's gonna almost KO me here. And then this point in time, I come in with Charizard. I'm just gonna hit this Dragon Claw. Good play on his part by not shielding. And then here I'm like, okay, I should have came back with the Azumarill. At least I would have had a chance to get the Ice Beam off. And then yeah, I would have had a chance to get the Ice Beam off. Then I could have hit potentially a Stone Edge here. But anyways, I don't know why I cut off that match early, but I got destroyed. So I know I have to deal with this Razor Leaf Venusaur. So I go through with here. I'm only going to carry one water. This time being a Azumarill. That way I can check Scizor and Kingdra and Charizard. So here, it's a bad matchup for me. Switch to the Charizard, try to make it neutral, and to see whether or not he had something up his sleeve. I think he had difficulty switching here. And then he does Dragon Claw back to me. It could have been Blast Burn, which would have been bad for me. But here, as long as I can get to the Dragon Claw, I'm happy at this point in stage. And then I'm able to beat him to it. And he is doing Dragon Claw. So I feel pretty good in this particular case. I know he has Venusaur that he's going to come out with. He switches out, and then I'm gonna just burn the last shield here. I have 2 shields up, and then his Venusaur switch locked, so I'm gonna come in here with Executor, do a ton of damage. I do have to shield this move here because it's gonna be Sludge Bomb. Even if it was Frenzy Plant, it would put me in KO range anyway. So, and then here I know his Charizard has very little health, so I'll eat that 1 Fire Spin, and then he comes with Lantern. I don't know. I did a stupid move here. I don't know why I did this. He did Psychic. I should have did Seed Bomb, which basically does the same amount of damage. But thankfully, I'm able to get to the Seed Bomb here and KO him here. I do have a shield left, so it would have been okay either way, but not necessarily the best moves on my part. All right, so we're moving on to the third match in round 3. So here, positive matchup for me. I do have to be careful of what he switches into. And then here I come with Azumarill. I like Azumarill for any of the switches that he might have had. Like Scizor, for example, it's still an okay matchup for me. Even though it does both Ice Beam and Play Rough would be resisted. Water Bubble still does a lot of good neutral damage here. So I know his Venusaur's coming out here. I've built up a ton of energy at this point in time. So here I'm going to hit another Ice Beam. Should be able to burn his second shield here. So I'm looking good here. He has energy built up. So I'm going to come Charizard here. I probably should have came... well, I guess he comes back here. Thunderbolt. I'm going to hit it with the Seed Bomb here. This is going to do a ton of damage to this Lantern. And then I'm going to farm it up here. I should have just went for Psychic here. I don't know why I went Seed Bomb, but it is what it is. And then as soon as I shield here, this Venusaur is going to faint just because charge moves have priority over... Actually, no, he didn't faint. Okay, never mind. Ignore what I was going to say. And we move on to round number 4. I'm against House Dark 93. I'm gonna say it in advance. He beats me down pretty badly here. So here, I foolishly think that I have like a pretty big advantage here. So here, I know he's gonna switch out. So I stop. I switch to Charizard. Oh, I switch to Quagsire. Questionable. Well, probably the right play though. He hit him with Stone Edge here. I probably should have shielded that first one. And then here, I don't know if I would survive this Dragon Claw. I should have calculated if I could have. I probably would have fainted due to the fire spins, but anyways, finish it off. Now we're even shields. He comes with Venusaur here. So I look like I'm like in decent position here. So I come Charizard here. I should have just let this Sludge Bomb hit me here, because he immediately switches into Stone Edge. So good play on his side. I lagged a little bit there, costing 1 confusion there, but that's fine. It's not like I would have got the Seed Bomb anyways, because this it's so slow here. So, but it potentially would have been a little bit closer. I probably would have been 1 confusion away instead of like 3 away. Or if I would have got that Seed Bomb off. But clearly outplayed me there, even with the lead advantage here. So here I have the lead advantage again against his Venusaur. So here he switches out to Fortress. And then here I make this dumb mistake here. I thought I was going to be able to bait his shield here. But Nerves of Steel here. I should have just shielded and then saved up 2 Blast Burns, because anything is lined up that gets hit by 2 Blast Burns is going to be they're going to be in like seriously low health. So here I get the 1 Blast Burn off. And then if I would have got this second Blast Burn, yeah, then I would have been in a better position, because that definitely would have forced a shield on the Lantern. And then here I should have came back with the Executor. I don't know why I didn't, because it's not like the Hydro Pump would have KO'd or Thunderbolt would have KO'd. And then I would have had the energy advantage here. Not that it would have mattered anyways, because like even if you had the energy advantage here, I would still have to KO it in time, and he would have just shielded anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So he clearly outplayed me here, and now we're on to Joe Bowers 2, and then again this lineup I love Lantern here, except for against his Venusaur. So he switches out. It's obviously going to be Venusaur, or against his Quagsire as well. Quagsire would be a good check as well. He's a Sludge Bomb here. And then here, I know I have to hit Dragon Claw. I just got greedy here. And you'll see I even go for the Dragon Claw here. For some stupid reason, but it's fine. I have a ton of energy built up. Unless he's going to come Azumarill, I would still be able to get off this Blast Burn no matter what here. And then he has to decide on his part. Does he try to fade me down or do a charge move, or let me get off another Dragon Claw? So he lets me get off another Dragon Claw, which is going to force a shield here. He has a lot of energy built up at this point in time, so I have to come in with Quagsire here. We lag a little bit here, but he's just doing his charge move, so he's going to come back here with Ninetales. I'm going to hit a Stone Edge here. And then I'm going to come back in with Lantern so I can farm up some energy. I'm going to hit by the Psyshock. And then he's going to come here. So that's the second Psyshock. It's 45 energy, 10 energy per. So it's going to take 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I knew he couldn't get off a Psyshock here. And then I hit this Quagsire with Hydro Pump to finish it off. And then come back in the second match. Or come back in the second match of round number 4 here. I like Fortress. Fortress is gonna be not Fortress. Executor. I like Executor against his team. For the most part, I predict correctly because I knew he knows that Venusaur is his check. And then here I switch out to Quagsire. And then he hits me with the Psyshock here. And then here I hit with a Stone Edge. I just try to farm up a little bit more energy in case he doesn't shield. I decide not to shield here because I know I can survive it. And then I can get to this Stone Edge here. And he lets me fade it down. He comes back Venusaur. I come back with Charizard? No, Executor. Because it's going to do more damage to the Venusaur. He's going to come Sludge Bomb here. And then I'm going to be able to KO it. And then see what he has. He has Azumarill, so it's right point by me. Because now I can really chunk away at his Azumarill here. And then I should be able to hit one more before the match is over. Ice Beam's the right play. Play Rough would have fainted me anyways because I was such low health anyways. So GG there. And now we're moving on to a little bit of a editing error there. Now we're moving on to round number 6 here. Yeah, round number 6. So that's number 5. Yeah, this is our number 6. So take a look at lineup. It's a little bit of a tricky lineup here. I do like Lantern against 4. And also like Quag against a lot of his Pokemon. So we'll see how we do here. So this is an okay matchup for me. I do make a stupid mistake here. So he's going to hit me with Ice Beam here. I do go for Stone Edge here. I don't know why. I should have went Earthquake. But because now I have to hit an Earthquake here. So I hit an Earthquake here. And then he immediately goes for the Ice Beam. And then I'm like, I don't know, maybe I should have shielded. But I think, yeah, I don't know. I think he piggybacked off me there. So he switches to Venusaur. I get this Ice Beam off just to take out one of his shields here. And then here, I know I have to shield this for sure. That's 1. That's 2. I should have did one more Fire Spin. Well, I guess I do one more here anyway, so it worked out to be the same. He comes in here with his Azumarill. I know I can survive this Ice Beam, so that's good. And then I should be able to hit this Blast Burn before fainting. And then I finish off the Azumarill. And then here goes Quagsire. And then I should have did Ice Beam here. This is, I don't know. I literally did this in practice the night before. I don't know why I didn't do Ice Beam, because Ice Beam would have took out half the health anyways. So, but now it's like I'm like one turn behind here. He does Acid Spray. I had no choice to shield there. If it was Earthquake, I was like just kicking myself. I'm like, what the hell was he doing something so stupid here? So here I barely get it off in time and finish it off with an Ice Beam. So. All right, so now we're moving on to Match number 2 of round number 6. And let's see what he comes out with. Come with Executor. He comes with Raichu. I like Executor. I like this matchup a lot. He comes out with Fortress. I'm gonna mirror with Fortress. And then he comes with here. I think he has Rock Tomb Earthquake here. And then here I'm just gonna hit it with another Rock Tomb. And then at this point in time, I'm gonna shield here. And now we're even on shields, and I'm able to get this heavy slam here. It's gonna resist this heavy slam, but at least I can win and then get the switch advantage here. He comes a Azumarill here, which is gonna fit down, and then I'm gonna come here. I know he has a Raichu, so I'm gonna come back here with Executor, because I know my Quagsire can do very well against his. So I piggyback here, off here, to cancel out one of his bubbles. So I should be able to get to us here. And then I do one extra confusion for whatever reason. It doesn't really matter because he survived this anyways. He gets the Ice Beam off. And then here I'm perfectly fine because I know I have Quagsire. He has Raichu. It's pretty much a done deal at this point in time. And he does a Wild Charge. It would have been different if he would have got off the Ice Beam. I still would have been okay here, but it would have been much closer. And then that ends the tournament there for the Self Arena part. So I end up 5-1, but now we're moving on to playoffs. So basically, House Stark beat Joey VOV, who's the organizer of the tournament. Joey was 5-1, and I'm going against Joey as part of the tiebreaker. I start with the Azumarill because his Mercargo is like the only counter to my Executor, and I figured that he would start with Mercargo to try to check my Executor. Sludge Bomb here. This Fortress is just doing a ton of damage. I like Fortress against his team. And then he comes in with Mercargo, I believe. Yeah, Mercargo. And I come in here with Rock Tomb. I could have like baited with Heavy Slam, but it's quite alright. Gonna be able to get off one more Rock Tomb here. And he's doing a pretty good amount of damage here. I'm gonna come back here with the Azumarill. I don't know how much this Stone Edge does because it's not a matchup I see very often, and I do want to preserve my Azumarill as much as possible. So he shields here. I probably could have stayed in and baited one more shield because I had quite a bit of health left. But I decided to come in with Executor here and feint him down. So we take match number 1 in playoff round number 1. And now I come back in here with Executor because I like Executor versus basically his entire team except for Mercargo. So he has Gloom here. He decides to stay in this matchup a little bit longer than I thought. And then, to be honest, I should have not switched here. As soon as I saw the Azumarill, I should just hit it with a bunch of Seed Bombs and actually would have won out that match. And now I know he doesn't have a check for Executor, which is also good. And then Fortress is actually a better matchup against Gloom than Executor is, just because it's going to deal a ton of damage and it's going to resist all the moves, including the charge moves. It's going to come Ice Beam here, and then it's going to give me just enough energy to get off this Heavy Slam here, which is going to shield. And then I'm going to wait at the switch clock a little bit here. And then here I decide not to shield, and then I know he's going to come in here with Gloom. Well, I didn't know actually I wanted to come in and hit the Seed Bomb, but he for gutsy reason not to shield there. And then Here, I'm going to try to feint down. I fell a little bit short here. I should have went for confusion here. No, I went for psychic here, but it would have been tough for me to pull it off. So I'm just going to chunk away at this Venomoth's health. I have the energy advantage. Like I have more energy stored. He's going to be able to get off the Poison Fangs, but it's going to take like 2 unshielded Poison Fangs to feint me. Or like a lot of confusions. So that's 2. That's there's the energy for the Poison Fang. And then here, I just need to hit this Ice Beam, which I'm able to hear. And we move on to the playoff finals. And it's a rematch with House Stark 93. Super nice guy. The best person that I've ever played against. I had a lead advantage in both my matches. I ended up losing in a terrible situation here. I come with Fortress because he said after our battle, he's like I knew you weren't gonna run Fortress, which is fair because Fortress is not like super favorable because I knew wasn't gonna run his slow bro. But I decide to anyways, and I decide to just play out this matchup here. I think Heavy Slam's the right move. If I had Earthquake, I would have a little bit more of a better play against Quagsire, but unfortunately I don't. I probably should have just charged up enough and faked him out, but I think at this point in time he already knew my movesets. So I come Executor here, and then I was like, just not enough. Really good play here. And then he switches out to Fortress while I'm doing the confusion and fades me down, so really excellent play here. His Fortress is switch locked here, but it doesn't really matter because he's going to come Rock Tomb here. And then here, I should have just went for the Hydro Pump, but I was also farming up energy here. But actually, it returned out fine, actually. So, he switches to Zoom Roll, to Lantern Mirror, but I'm in like all sorts of trouble at this point in time, so it doesn't really matter. And his Quagsire has like almost no health left. But it doesn't matter. So he faints me down here. Hits me with the Thunderbolt. And it's GG right there. So at this point in time, I'm like, okay, I got to come up with some interesting lines. He likes to lead with Venusaur and Quagsire so far. He doesn't seem to like to lead with Charizard or Fortress, which is what would be my main concerns here. So I bring in Executor here, and he leads with Venusaur. It makes sense because I have so many water Pokemon. Here, I switch out to Lantern right away, and then I'm able to get down to like half of his Charizard's health. And he hits me with Blast Burn here, which is going to do a ton of damage. And my objective is to feint down before he's able to Dragon Claw. He would need one more Fire Spin anyways. And I know he's going to come back here with Venusaur. He's just waiting at the switch clock. And then here, I'm going to Hydro Pump this Venusaur. And then he's going to feint me. Oh, we lag a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. We lag a little bit more. And then here he comes in with Frenzy Plant, which makes sense. And then he hits me with another one, which I shield here. And probably a good shield on my part. I have energy built up. Comes with Quagsire here. I'm going to hit the 1 Seed Bomb here. And he has 2 shields here. So I'm going to have to hit another one. I should survive this Stone Edge. And then I'm able to get off one more here. These Mud Bombs are not going to do a ton of damage here. And he switches. And then I switch into Quagsire here. And then I realize like I'm in a good position here. He comes Earthquake, but it's not going to do enough damage here. I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to go straight Earthquake here. And then we finish him off there. So now we're moving on to match number 3 in the finals. I like this lineup so far, so I decided to go with the same lineup. I make a couple mistakes here, as you guys can tell. So here, similar before, he's gonna load up. He knows that I am one confusion away, so I switch out to 2 lantern here. He switches out during my confusion, which means he's able to get a couple bug bites off. And then here, I probably shouldn't have shielded this first one, but it is what it is. And then he ends up shielding here. He adjusted his gameplay last time. He didn't shield, and that cost him. And then here, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to fade him down afterwards. And then I hit the Thunderbolt, which is so dumb of me. So dumb of me. I should have just not did any damage there and then loaded up. But then there's a chance here that, yeah, just load it up, I guess. Either way, like, that ended up costing me the match. Well, a couple things costing the match here. So here he hits me with Thunderbolt. And then here I should have just came back in with Executor. I did come back in with Executor. I hit the Seed Bomb here. And then he lets it faint. And then here I tried to switch out switch out, but unfortunately too slow there. And then here, this is such a gutsy move on his part. He goes Earthquake here, and then I go Stone Edge here, thinking that I need to hit 2 Stone Edges, and I tried to piggyback as well. And then here I beat him to the Stone Edge, but he sells his shield up, so it wouldn't have made a difference either way. So GG, definitely outplayed me. I learned a lot from those matches. So really great community, really fun tournament. Hopefully people got a chance to learn a few things. Here are some of my thoughts around Rainbow Cup. Here's how the competition played out. 4-way tie for first, but House Stark ended up winning in the playoffs. So congratulations to you, Alex. Keys to Rainbow. Here, a couple things that I think are really important. One is energy management. As you can see with House Stark, even when I had the advantage with Executor versus Quagsire, he ended up having a pretty positive. I ended up winning because he's able to conserve his energy and then save that for later. I think the second thing here is that this cup is so wide. There's so many different Pokemon that are available, is that it's really important for you to understand and anticipate what the third Pokemon is based off their shielding and switching in patterns. Because if you're able to successfully determine the third Pokemon, it can help you determine when you should shield or not. So, for example, in one of my matches, his last Pokemon was a Ninetales, and I was going up against, I think it was Azumarill versus Lantern, and I had a Fortress that was a little bit wounded. I chose to shield my Lantern to keep it alive, but it could also have been the case that I could have not shielded, and then that Ninetales would just fainted out my Fortress with just fast moves. So being able to anticipate their third Pokemon based off of the 6 they have available, what potential lineups they might run, and what their switch and shield patterns are should give you a clue on what their third Pokemon is. And then I think something really important for those watching this video and having the tournament later on is that you need to adjust to the meta. Right now, I think in early meta, people really favored Venusaur, but with the potential rise of confusion users, I think other Pokemon like Meganium, like Bayleaf, and other grass Pokemon that don't have a poison subtyping will come to fruition and will be potential alternatives for grass Pokemon. So you need to adjust for that. I also think that we'll see more Pokemon like Mantine to adjust to that meta at some point in time as well. So definitely keep your eyes out on how the meta changes and how your lineup might change as well. Again, if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to grind my way to 25,000 subscribers, so I appreciate everyone that subscribes and supports me in any way that they can, and I will see everyone in the next video.